wondered why your ideal sales profile does not work in every single region that you operate in? Well, the issue actually may be your profile. You have the wrong profile for the region. Hi, I'm Suki from Professional Selection. Welcome back to the channel. This is the type of content that interests you. Please click subscribe and you'll get notification every time I upload new content. So why do I say your profile may in fact be wrong? Now, for the purpose of this video, we need to back up and we need to clarify a couple of things. What's the profile I'm talking about? Well, for the most part, it tends to be your competitive salesperson. Something I hear all the time when I'm onboarding roles is, oh, we'd love for them to have played some sort of sports in their background and things like that, because it creates a team culture, it creates that sense of competitiveness. They're focused, they're driven, they don't take no for an answer, and they are always closing. Yeah, great profile for the most part. And if we had to put them I had to give them a label, they're your high D dominance, your extroverts, your high E's and things like that. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. In some regions, that is the perfect profile. But you have to back up a second and you have to look at each country as a unique place of business. Now, I know I'm contradicting myself because you often hear me say that the internet's made the world a much smaller place, and there's so many things that it's brought together and the oneness of it all. Totally stand by that, but we have to look at each region and understand the slight variances, the nuances and so forth. I'm going to use Canada as an example because that's my home territory. I actually, for those of you that don't know, I grew up in the UK. Home for me is the UK. That's where I spent all my childhood. In fact, I didn't move to Canada until well into my career in staffing, and I'd actually launched my own business by then. Absolutely loved every second of moment I spent in the staffing industry in the UK. But when I moved here, I quickly learned that profile doesn't necessarily work here. What do I mean by that? Well, as I said, let's take the region and look at the differences. Now, Canada is a country. When you think of Canada, you think of extremely tolerant. You think of nice people. You think of polite people that apologize. Look at it on the global platform when Canada tends to go in anywhere from a military perspective, it is peacekeeping, United Nations, collaborative, and so forth. And of course, it's a country built on immigration. Fantastic, great. Does that mean another country is good or bad? Absolutely not. But what I'm trying to do is give you a flavor of what the Canadian market is. And when I look at the profile that I just described, and honestly, that was me, it didn't work because here's the thing. That's where the rub gets created, because the client avatar and the salesperson avatar are different and not necessarily synced and right for each other. Does that mean that Canada doesn't have top performing salespeople? No, that's absolutely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to adapt your profile. You've got to understand who your client is, the client avatar. In this case, we're talking the country, not the individual per se. Now, build that avatar out and then build out that ideal profile, because the top pillars here in Canada, they certainly are not those individuals that are constantly pounding the pavements, knocking doors down, refuse to listen to anything. They're, always closing, never taking no for an answer and so forth. No, because that is not the right mindset. That is not the right profile for the client who wants to build relationships. So the ideal profile in the example that I've given you is still somebody that's absolutely focused, driven, healthy competitiveness, and all of those phenomenal traits, but also understands the relationship part of the market, relationship building. And here's the thing. Don't confuse what I'm saying with not having productive, meaningful conversations. That's not what I'm talking about. It's building relationships, and it takes time. One of the biggest challenges I see, and when I'm launching international clients into the Canadian market, whether that's out of the UK, out of the US, or anywhere else in the world, one of the things I always get them to do is manage their expectations. Because when you're building relationships, it takes time. You don't have, and you've got to give that individual time to build those relationships. You're going to see the results. It's going to take a little bit longer to get those results, i.e. get the win. But when you do get them, they're solid wins. They're built on relationships, not necessarily price driven neither, because what that buying client has done, and then the successful salesperson has done, they've built a relationship that goes beyond just making an individual hire, just giving them 30 contractors here, 100 contractors there. They've actually taken the time to really get to know each other. Now, that may create an alarm bell for some of you because, oh, well, that relationship is so tight, it sits with the one individual. Absolutely not. That is not what I am saying. I'm saying that's how the relationship starts. So I encourage each and every one of you that's doing business internationally to look at your profiles. Start adapting some of them to suit the country that you are either launching in or you're currently operating in. Because making that slight tweak, and as I said, we're still looking for individuals that are driven, focused, all of those things. But let's just ease up slightly on the aggressiveness and bring out that relationship part. I promise you, you do that, you will find you've got a really strong, sustainable business. And of course, employee engagement. We haven't even talked about that. So next time you're going to make a hire in a country that is not your home region, just take a pause. Take a pause and look at your client avatar. Look at the nuances. Look at the way they do business, and then match your hiring profile to that. As always, I'm sure you have comments, thoughts. Please feel free to leave them below. If you like this type of content, hit subscribe. You'll get notification every time I upload new content. But you may want to talk about this further. Happy to jump on a call with you. Send me an email and we can arrange a time that works for both of us and we can talk about this further. On that note, thanks ever so much for listening, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.